What would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life?
I think most people are confused about money. Most people don't have a healthy relationship with money.
Many people, as I did at the beginning, got stuck with a job that I really didn't like.
Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
I wake up every morning. Espresso keep me going. I wake up every morning.
Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Alan Watts. Also, if you want to learn from other successful writers, check out my 254 Writers Wisdom series. It's free. The link is in the description below.
Clock time is fine, but psychological time is when the future takes over your mind and your entire thought patterns are geared only towards future.
To be anxious is to have anxiety about something that hadn't even happened yet.
What would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Well, it's so amazing. As a result of our kind of educational system, crowds of students say, well, we'd like to be painters, we'd like to be poets, we'd like to be writers, but as everybody knows, you can't earn any money that way. Or another person says, well, I'd like to live an out-of-doors life and ride horses. I say, do you want to teach in a riding school? Let's go through with it. What do you want to do? When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that. And forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way. And after all, if you do really like what you're doing, it doesn't matter what it is, you can eventually turn it, you could eventually become a master of it. It's the only way to become a master of something, to be really with it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. So don't worry too much. Somebody's interested in everything. And anything you can be interested in, you'll find others who are. But it's absolutely stupid to spend your time doing things you don't like in order to go on spending things you don't like, doing things you don't like, and to teach your children to follow in the same track.
I think most people are confused about money. Most people don't have a healthy relationship with money. There are the people who think that money is everything, that money is the only important thing in the world and you need to chase it down and it's your duty and responsibility and obligation. It's like, it's number one. The person walking into my house or my place of business, that's my next suit, that's my next payment, that's my next whatever. It's only focused on money. And there's other people who think money is the root of all evil and that money is a bad thing. Money is a tool. Money helps you get a lot of things done. Money helps you go places. Money helps you accomplish your mission. Money needs to be in your top 5. It's just not number 1. Money needs to be in your top 5. If money does not become important at some point to you, if it's not in your top 5 priorities, you'll never make money and you'll always be by yourself, struggling, trying to figure out how to make something work. But it's not number 1 either. If you put money above all else, you'll end up doing a lot of work that you hate and you never get good at it just because you're chasing opportunities. This is a big reason why so many entrepreneurs fail. You're just chasing the hottest thing for this year that you don't have a passion or interest in, and then you lose because the people who love that destroy you. When I first started doing this, helping entrepreneurs, I never thought I was going to make money. My first speaking gig, my first option to help people, was in Canada, in my hometown of Toronto, was at a YMCA. It was a free event. They had an entrepreneurship program and they asked me to come and speak to their members. It was free. I wasn't getting paid to do it, just wanted to help out. I just sold my business, I wanted to give back. I was saying yes to everything. I actually didn't even know what I wanted to do next. And so I show up and it's this big room full of chairs and only 3 people show up to that first event. Only 3 people. And as soon as I walked in the room and I saw 3 people, my heart sank. I felt like I'm never going to be able to make anything from this. If only 3 people show up to a free event, how am I ever going to make money from it? I didn't know. but I gave my best to those 3 people. I know that I helped those 3 people and had an impact on their lives. We then went for coffee afterwards and continued the conversation. I know that I helped them and it filled my soul, and I had to find a way to keep doing it. I knew I had to find a way to keep doing it, even if I never made money. And so I did. I kept doing speaking gigs. I did my website. I did my YouTube channel. And slowly, it started to come in. As I figured out the second key important piece, which is figuring out how to bring value to other people. When you find something that you love doing and you combine it with how it brings value to other people, that's when you start making money. If it's something that you just love doing, but nobody else likes it, there's zero value to anybody else, you have a hobby. You have a hobby. If you're only chasing stuff that people like and need, but you don't like doing it, you're never gonna get great at it. You might make a little bit of money, but you're never gonna get great at it. You're never gonna be all time. You're never gonna build a huge business. And so it's that combination of doing work that you love doing and mix it with where there's an opportunity that people need. It's a problem that you are solving. Mix those things together. You have a super successful business. I profiled so many different entrepreneurs over the years. And the number one rule that comes up over and over and over and over and over again is you have to love the process. You have to love the work. You have to love what it is that you're doing. Because most people would quit when it gets too hard. The thing that allows you to keep going and keep trying and keep struggling and keep pushing forward, even in the face of all of this no and negativity and obstacles and things in your way, why keep doing this thing? Because you love it. Because you love the process. You have to get addicted to loving the process and not just the results. The results are great. The results of winning, the results of making money, amazing, great. But you have to love the process. The people who win, they love the game. They love the process, they love the journey, they love the work, however you want to call it. And that's across athletics, entrepreneurship, science, innovation, everything. It's the most consistent rule that successful, high-achieving people have in common. And so then that's your job. 1, fix your relationship with money. Understand that money is not number 1. But it's not evil either. It's not number 100. Even if you're a charity, you need to learn how to make money. It's got to be in your top 5, but it's number 2, 3, 4, or 5, not number 1. And then part 2 is you have to figure out how can you combine the thing that you absolutely love doing in a way that brings value to other people in a big way. And when you figure out what that intersection looks like, now you're starting to make a lot of money and having an impact and changing the world. Now I've got a really special bonus clip for you that I think you're going to enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I want to know, growing up, what were you taught about money? Let me know. Put in the comments below.
If you're not doing something that you love to do, find something that you love to do, because it will make your whole life different. Many people, as I did at the beginning, got stuck with a job that I really didn't like. I would never have stayed with that job, or if I had to financially, I would have stayed with that job and been an unhappy, mediocre lawyer in a world where I could never have had the confidence of doing a great job. So for you, for your children, boys and girls, find something that you're naturally good at, figure out how to make a living at it. Nurture those of you who run businesses, who have women in their businesses. You have to realize that they're doing a whole lot of stuff. That doesn't mean you have to cut them a whole bunch of slack. It means you're supposed to demand excellence. That's what got you to run your own business. But make sure you're doing something that you love to do. And if you can't do it as a vocation, for whatever reason, do it as an avocation. Something that gives you pure satisfaction is something that gives you confidence. If you can't do it every day from 9 to 5, learn the tango. Do something spectacular for your soul. I find that I'm having the time of my life at 74. I just watched an HBO documentary that was made by Carl Reiner, who was, I think, 97. And a wonderful comedian. For those of you who don't know who Carl Reiner is, he's Rob Reiner's father. And for those of you who don't know who Rob Reiner is, Oh my God, I can't believe you don't know who Rob Reiner is. But his documentary is called If You're Not in the Obit, Eat Breakfast. And it really said every stage in life can be an adventure. You don't have to be defined. If you didn't make it in your 20s, you can make it in your 30s. And if you didn't make it in your 30s, you can make it in your 40s. And if you didn't make it in your 40s, you can make it in your 50s. And just remember Grandma Moses. You know who that is? Oh, please tell me you remember Grandma Moses. She was a painter. And she didn't start painting until, I think, in her 80s. And one of the most prolific painters.
It's never too late.
Never too late.
Never
So
too
have
late.
fun. That's what it's all about.
You went to law school, then you actually went into law, you're kind of starting your law career, and then you realize, I don't want to be doing this.
You're absolutely right. I had started my career in law. One of the things that helped me, and I suggest this to people generally, is to think about whom do you envy. Because envy is a very, very unpleasant emotion, but it reveals a lot. And one of the things that helped me as I was figuring out whether I wanted to try to be a writer was when I would read the alum notes in my college magazine, people who had cool law jobs, I was like, that sounds interesting. But then when people had cool writing jobs, I just felt sick with envy. And so I began, and also at that time, I started to have an idea for a book that I wanted to write which was published, called Power, Money, Fame, Sex, A User's Guide. And I began to realize, I'm writing this book on the weekend, but some people write a book as their job. And my sister was a professional writer. She's a TV writer. And I got to the point where I thought, I'd rather fail as a writer than succeed as a lawyer. And my husband and I were moving from Washington to D.C. to New York. So there was this sort of logical transition. And I thought, if I don't try it now, if I get another law job, I'm not sure I will ever have the wherewithal to make a switch. So this is my moment. This is the obvious time to give it a shot. So why don't I try? And so I went to the bookstore and got a book called something like How to Write and Sell Your Nonfiction Book Proposal, and just followed the directions.
If you want to learn how to stop hanging out with people you don't like from Mal Robbins, check out the Espresso video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
You don't have to hang out with people you don't like. There's a pro-life tip for everybody.
So here's a process you can use to follow to help you be around the right people